Today we are going to do a very easy but extremely soothing breath practice that will allow us to access our lung area so that we can expand the lungs to reach all the parts of the container of our body. And to do that, you want to be in a seated position. So you can and should take 2 blankets and fold them up so that you are sitting up tall on something. If your legs are way up like this when you sit on the floor. For me, it's actually more comfortable to sit directly on the floor. There's a lot of different positions that you can put your legs in. You can just be in a very easy cross-leg position. What's extremely comfortable is if you cross the shins and they are just sitting and lying out to the side like this. And of course, you can do that in the other direction too, whichever is more comfortable for you. But this is a very comfortable and easy seated position to sit in. It's also very nice if you're sitting up on blankets. I often like to sit with my feet flat down on the floor because then I get the feeling of the top of my feet being very grounded. So whichever of those positions is most comfortable for you. You can also do this in a chair, of course, if you're not comfortable sitting on the floor at all. The important thing is that we're focusing on this area and the lungs, so we don't want the lower body to be uncomfortable. And then the other thing that you'll need today is a yoga belt. So this is can also be a necktie. It can also be a set of scarves together, anything that's long and that you can tie around this area. The belt is good because you can cinch it up to the right amount of tightening that you want. So I'm going to take the belt, put it through the belt loops, and then I'm going to bring it to the area of my lower ribs and tighten it, not so tight that it's cutting off my air, but tight enough so that when I breathe into it, I will be able to feel it. Okay, so the first thing we do is get situated. Allow the weight of the legs and the pelvis to ground down, and then roll the shoulders back and down, tops of the shoulders down, and lift the head slightly up to the sky, the ceiling, and then bring your hands to a comfortable position, either arms straight up or hands down, whichever feels more comforting to you today. But we're going to be working right here. So I'm just going to leave my hands like this. And the first thing I'm going to do is try to breathe into the left side of the belt, and I'll just be working the left lung. So I'm going to inhale and exhale. And you can see as I inhale, my ribs go out to the side and then come back in. Do that 2 or 3 more times, just dividing the body. Left side, inhaling, exhaling, coming back in. Okay, now we'll do the right side. And you may notice that one side is easier to expand than the other. You might even be able to see. On my left, I could go way out, but on my right, it's a tighter side, so I have to work harder to expand the ribs in that direction. But by doing this, I begin to notice the imbalance on both sides of the body. And I'm not judging it. Because our lungs are actually not exactly the same shape anyway. And then one side of the body can often have a tighter musculature. It can be a lot, not exactly even or the same. So now we're going to take it going back and forth. This will help to even it out. So first I'm going to breathe into the left, come back to center, and then I'm going to breathe into the right, and then come back to center. And then just going back and forth between left and right. And as I do this, moving back and forth, it begins to even out the body so that the right side learns from the left side and the left side learns from the right side. And as you do this breathing, you can feel that you're dividing your body down the central channel into the left and right side. And your mind begins to understand that difference between the two sides of the body. And though they look symmetrical, they're not always symmetrical. And as we begin to have a feeling of which is tight, which one has more mobility, then we can have one side learn from the other side. So let's do 2 or 3 more where we're just going back and forth like that. And then come back to center. Now we're going to take the belt off. Slip it over your head. And maybe just place your hands here for a minute and do the same thing with your hands. And it's funny, as I'm doing this video, I more notice my right side than when I'm just doing it on my own because I can see it, that it's a tighter side. So every day you do this, it's slightly different. Now bring your hands down, palms facing up to the sky, and try to do that without any of the props or tools. So and just come back to a neutral position. Close your eyes and see if you can just feel how the left side feels, how the right side feels. And do you have more awareness of each sides of your body? And then to finish, you can come back, lie flat, Again, you can put the blanket under your knees and the other pillow under your head, just in the small of the neck, slight roll. And now feel, can you do the same thing? Left side, right side, moving the ribs to the left and the right. And then just settle in and let go of everything.